Welcome back to Bobby King Iraqi Dinar News. I'm your host, Bobby King. Today we have breaking updates from Iraq. Baghdad and Erbil are on the threshold of a historic agreement. We're talking about major breakthroughs. If you're following the Iraqi Dinar, this is must-know news. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and drop a comment below to support the community. Together we're tracking history in the making. For years, the relationship between Baghdad and Erbil has been defined by mistrust, endless negotiations, and political stalemates. Oil revenues, unpaid salaries, and disputes over non-oil income have not only fractured the ties between the federal government and the Kurdistan Regional Government, but have also left millions of Iraqis stuck in uncertainty. But this week, something different, something historic, appears to be taking shape. Sources inside Baghdad and Erbil confirmed that Tuesday brought real breakthroughs. After months of back and forth, Iraqi officials are now openly working on mechanisms to finalize a deal that could reset the balance of power between the center and the region. Even more striking, talks are moving beyond temporary fixes toward structural changes, possibly including a budgetary adjustment that would pave the way for the long-awaited hydrocarbon law. This isn't just about oil pipelines and contracts. It's about dignity, stability, and the promise of a new chapter in Iraq's troubled but resilient story. Oil. The heart of the deal. Oil has always been both Iraq's blessing and its curse. With reserves among the largest in the world, petroleum fuels the economy but also fuels disputes. For years, Erbil's independent oil exports, particularly through Turkey's Ceyhan port, were a flashpoint. Baghdad insisted it held the exclusive constitutional right to manage oil sales, while Erbil argued that without direct access to revenues, it could not pay its civil servants or meet its obligations. The consequences were devastating. Teachers, doctors, and government workers in the Kurdistan region went months without salaries. Infrastructure projects stalled. Trust in both governments plummeted. But on Tuesday, negotiators in Baghdad and Erbil made headway on mechanisms to share both revenues and responsibilities. According to those close to the talks, the two sides are converging on an arrangement that would allow Kurdish oil to flow under a federal framework while ensuring Erbil receives its fair share of the national budget. This balance, long elusive, would not only stabilize the Kurdish economy but also reassure international oil companies and investors who have hesitated amid uncertainty. Salaries. Restoring dignity. At the core of this breakthrough are the people who have borne the brunt of political disputes, the Kurdish civil servants. Teachers, police officers, and healthcare workers have seen their livelihoods turned into bargaining chips, with delayed or partial payments becoming the norm. Now, for the first time in years, there is genuine hope that the impasse could end. Baghdad's willingness to directly guarantee salaries, alongside Erbil's openness to transparency in revenue reporting, marks a turning point. This is more than a budget line, it is a recognition that the people must come first, that politics cannot keep holding paychecks hostage. If implemented, this arrangement could begin to restore trust between citizens and their governments. The symbolism of payday arriving on time, every month, cannot be overstated in a region where broken promises have been the rule, not the exception. Non-oil revenues. Building for the future. Perhaps the most overlooked but transformative part of the talks is the discussion around non-oil revenues. Iraq has long been overly dependent on petroleum, with oil accounting for around 90% of government income. This leaves the country dangerously vulnerable to fluctuations in global prices. Erbil, however, has shown glimpses of how diversification might work. Customs revenues, agriculture, and tourism have all been growing in importance. Bringing these streams into a transparent national framework would not only strengthen Iraq's fiscal stability but also help reduce the toxic dependency on oil. By working together to capture, account for, and share these non-oil revenues, Baghdad and Erbil could lay the foundations for a more balanced and sustainable economic future. Why this moment feels different. Skeptics might dismiss this week's developments as just another round of promises destined to collapse. After all, how many times has Iraq heard talk of historic agreements, only for them to unravel in the details? But there are reasons to believe this time is different. 1. Mechanisms, not just promises. Negotiators are reportedly discussing implementation tools, real changes in the budget structure that would give legal teeth to the agreement. 2. Mutual exhaustion. Both Baghdad and Erbil have been under immense domestic pressure. Citizens are tired of political games, and both sides know the cost of failure is rising. 3. Regional context. With global energy markets shifting and Iraq's neighbors recalibrating their alliances, Baghdad and Erbil have strong incentives to present a united front. A threshold moment, the road ahead will not be smooth. Legal battles, bureaucratic resistance, and external pressures could still derail the process. But if this agreement is finalized and implemented, it could mark one of the most consequential shifts in post-2003 Iraq. For Baghdad, it would mean greater cohesion and stability across the federal state. For Erbil, it would mean financial predictability and the chance to rebuild public trust. For Iraq as a whole, it would represent a step away from paralysis and toward partnership. Perhaps most importantly, it would give ordinary Iraqis, from Basra to Erbil, a glimpse of what functional governance looks like: agreements honored, salaries paid, resources shared. Tuesday may well be remembered as the day Iraq stopped arguing about what belongs to whom and started building a future together. The threshold is here. The question now is whether Iraq's leaders will step across it. In the end, I want to ask all my friends watching to stay positive and patient, because patience truly is the key to success. Please subscribe to my channel and show your support. Wishing you all a wonderful day. Thank you so much.